Is this truly a solid state battery, or is it false advertising on Yoshino? So I guess we're going to find out. Today we're going to take this apart, take a look at the battery chemistry, and really see if it is truly solid state, or if it truly is just standard lithium iron phosphate. So we'll take it apart, see what we find, and maybe even puncture a couple of them just to see what happens.
Now, disassembly is always fun with these because they're really put together pretty well. But I figure with a little bit of persuasion, this little screwdriver I have should do the job pretty well. 4 screws, we can just get rid of these. And now we can move on to using that persuasion again, which this works pretty well to make quick work. But sometimes there are screws that can hide under here, which I'll just use this little knife, which I actually wish I had a knife named after me like another big YouTuber. I figure if I had one of those, I'd probably know that I've made it, as I do enjoy his teardowns. Oh, well that was nice. Maybe we can do that one more time. Now these tabs on the back look like a good place to hit, and I was right. And pop that off. That was easy. Onto these next screws that are always hidden somewhere where you never have a long enough screwdriver. But I'll make do with this one that just happens to live in my electrician bucket, and we'll ditch those screws and continue moving on. Now I did have to make a little notch here as I didn't have my longer screwdriver. Just to remove these extra screws, I needed a little bit more reach. There we go. And now persuasion comes back out. One single hit gives us a little bit more exposure. But now it's time to be careful because I don't want to short anything, as these batteries are still pretty charged. I will admit the amount of silicone they used is somewhat overkill, but those wires are not coming off. I will give it to Yoshino though for building a well-constructed machine. This thing is pretty well built, and everything is clean and tidy for sure. Remove a few more of these wires so we can get the faceplate off, and I always seem to run into the problem of blue wire or red wire. I guess red it is, and I'm still here. And maybe I'll keep this piece as a memento or a participation trophy. A couple of support brackets on the bottom. We'll remove those. Did I mention this was assembled pretty well? You have to admit, this is a nice piece. Have our cooling fans up on the top, and our circuit board with more screws. Have an internal fuse on the side, which maybe I'll even keep that. And of course more screws, which I think there's more screws in this than just about any other power station I've taken apart. And a few more below the circuit board. And voila, here is our battery. Now we have some temp sensors and balance leads here, and that looks like our BMS down there, which will remove both of our main leads. We'll go ahead and remove the BMS. And did I mention that there's a lot of sealant? Now I will admit I am a fan of the anodized orange. Now I don't know if I mentioned that there's a lot of sealant in here, especially all 4 corners, so prying this out might be a little bit difficult. But being a good man that I am, I said a few choice words to it, and here it comes. Now this seems to be wrapped in a composite material a lot like G10, which if I was betting, man, that's probably what this is. I used to use sheets of this when I was racing jet skis when I was somewhat professional. And now that we've been able to use a piece of this to help assist removing this pouch cell, well, that's a lot what it looks like, is a pouch cell from some types of lithium-ion batteries or lithium iron phosphate, which you even have a QR code which I'll scan, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to believe what it says. Okay, fun time. So I'm going to just slowly cut this open. Oh, little spark right there. Definitely reacting. I wouldn't do this at home, which I'm not even sure if I should do it, but it's fun. Seems like every time I learn something new. Slowly open this up. We'll see how long it takes to combust on us. As long as we're delicate, we should be able to chew around here for a little bit. And I'll get you guys a better shot so you can see inside too. Now, I've never said that I'm an expert, but I have tore a couple of these apart now, and it does look a lot like a lithium iron phosphate pouch cell. So far we're being able to dig around in here. maybe I'll take apart another pouch cell, do it a little bit more clean versus digging a hole, but which so far it's not really igniting. We are getting some sparks, which is normal. A little bit. Oh, well, there it goes. You can start to see it react now as it starts to look like it's going to run away on us here in a second. Well, maybe not yet. We'll dig a little bit more. Well, and there it goes. So if I was to fully puncture this with maybe this stake or a drill, which I'm not all the way through yet. If I was a bet man, if I just punctured right through this thing, it would pretty much ignite. But there's another layer, which I'm not really smelling anything. The smoke I smell, but I don't smell like a solvent or something that smells like a liquid type. I mean, maybe a little bit. It's hard to tell now that it's been burning a little. And, well, that looks like it might be it. Yeah, away it goes. And we should see this thing flame out all the way in a second. Play with it a little bit more. Oh. Alright, well, there it goes. And we'll get back just a little bit because these can produce a lot of heat. And fix my camera here, sorry. Alright. Maybe I should have moved my truck, but look at that thing go, and it's impressive how much heat these put out too. Now this is after a couple minutes, and there's still a lot of heat coming off of this thing. It's impressive, and don't really want to breathe this in if you can. I have a nice little breeze just off to the side, but wow, that's hot. Okay, it's been another 10 minutes and this thing is still radiating a lot of heat. Impressive how much it holds.
All right, now what do you think? It definitely looked dry when we tore it apart, but these pouch cells, they can expand, and so they'll live inside a hard case like this to keep them compressed. That's pretty typical. Now, even though you couldn't see any kind of polymers, a paste or anything, it looked pretty much all like dry graphite to me. You'll have to let me know your final thoughts on what you think it is. I wish I tore that other unit apart sooner, but it was so big and nice, I didn't want to damage it. So let me know what you guys think about this, and